bridge the gap. And that's what I said, that it was fantastic with iPrime skill. You are empowering the learners, you are giving them the options available, and with very fantastic clarity. There is no mis-selling, there is no hyped promises, and whatever promises are done, they are kept, they are worked out. I think that is what today needed. Transparency and the faith and belief, and obviously the affordability that you induced is, it's imminent for everybody to get to you. I would say, if they are not
Thank you,
coming,
sir.
probably they are not of good fortune. That's what I can dare to say, because such a wonderful platform is available, and with the ease and convenience of the facilitator, of the learners, and ensure that those skills they want to upgrade, and those programs which are available, they do match. So this we call as a competency. So you find the competency, you cater to the competency, you enhance the competency.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Vinayji. Okay, good. Yeah, doing good, fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, sir. So, how was this journey, this 21 days
Great.
internship program?
Yeah, I think overall it was a fantastic going. As you know, I always try to stress and focus on skill, upskill, and reskill. And I hope iPrime is, with privilege, is doing the activities, and I'm really happy, because most of the time, why, if you see in the world, why the fora like EduX or Coursera have come up. The real reason is there are the learners who are available, and there are the facilitators, right? I call all of them as facilitators. However, we are unable to connect them. And what you have done particularly is that bridge from where both will walk in and have that splendid view of the nature, learning from the nature, for the nature, for the benefit of the mankind and humanity, has all come together. So if I would say that my first appreciation to you,
Thank you,
and
sir.
yes, the learners, basically, yes, surely, the learners who were participating, their overwhelming participation, their enthusiasm and elan for learning is something, a teacher like me, you take it to a certain different pole. And it may happen, sometimes we call it like, we have to go for a, hopping or leapfrogging. It's not that, it's like pole vaulting scenario presently. So what is happening is the technology changing, the kind of knowledge required is varying, and the industry now, boosted with an austerity of technology, they want people who come to the place for job or maybe entrepreneurship with much more experienced values. Now, how is it possible? Suppose the learners are just graduating from a school, an engineering college, then how is it possible to get them experienced? There is no alternative for the efforts that you are placing in. There are no alternatives for the learners to come to the platforms like you, who are, I always say, the honey bee, and you are the honey bee hive, right?
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
everybody enjoys the sweet honey.
Mhm.
However, the efforts put by the honeybees were going to the nectar, collecting the nectar, bringing in, use the saliva, and created a protein-rich food. That's a facilitator's thing. And now the learners will come and enjoy the food. So this agglomeration in today's era is very vital. Otherwise, we keep on complaining. You go to industry, and those, I would say them earlier generation or innovation cycle 3. The innovation cycle 4 is going on right now, and the innovation cycle 5 would be commencing in a year, which was supposed to be maybe 5 years down the line. However, the pandemic has fostered the technology, and it has asked everybody to come together and adapt. The resilience has to be there. That the way people were stubborn to technology, they're saying, oh, these online platforms, they are foolishness, it cannot happen. Everybody had to adapt. Right? If we adopt something, a model from a renowned university may not be applicable. We have to create our own model where learners are empowered, and such model is in need of time. Today there is a dire need for learners to reach to appropriate source. Where are those appropriate gurus? In earlier epic of India, we have seen including Sri Ram or Sri Krishna, and all the epics that you see, they reach to the place where the knowledge was. It's not like nearby them there were no sages, there were no places of learning. They had their own Kulaguru, that is a term that used to be. However, they still reach to a certain place. Why? Because a kind of knowledge they would be required was available there.
Right.
So it's a traverse of journey.
Right.
Exactly. Very true. Very true. So we have to identify which is my interest, where I would get enriched with that interest. And only with that we will get enriched. Because having a bucket of courses, bucket of processes available, or their mechanisms and platforms, I need to choose what fits and suits me better. N number of options are there now, and all universities are coming openly with obviously these are all the structured programs. In unstructured program, there is a need that the good platforms come up and they start interacting, and they provide, because awareness is important thing. People are not aware where are the good things. I want to learn something. When I always keep on asking this question, people today, everybody talks on AI, ML and data sciences and all. When we discuss with them and I try to understand what really their view is, and we say that so the question I do ask, suppose you have 3 rooms where you need to select a basket, and one is where statistics is going on, somewhere a training state of machine learning, and then another one where artificial intelligence, it goes to even with deep learning that continues. And if we say, where would you go? People would say, no statistics, no machine learning, go to AI. It could be CV, computer vision, or other AI applications. They would love to know. However, all the basis of that lies in statistics. So if we neglect it and we are unable to understand that it is only the thing which is going to build us step by step from, as we say, data to information to the inference to decision. When we're talking about self-adapting plants, process manufacturing systems, in that case, it is essential that we train them what it comes in. So the conceptual understanding and awareness of that is somewhat missing. And so some words, coveted words are used, and everybody gets fascinated by that. However, what efforts I need to put in, what is my present knowledge base, what are the things I need to relearn, and some things unlearn, right? Because there would be certain things which have been learned and those may not be or are not prevalent right now. Right. All of them is quite essential, and we have to be here somewhere to bridge the gap. And that's what I said, that it was fantastic with iPrime scale. You are empowering the learners, you are giving them the options available, and with very fantastic clarity. There is no mis-selling, there is no hyped promises, and whatever promises are done, they are kept, they are worked out. I think that is what today needed. Transparency and the faith and belief, and obviously the affordability that you induced is it's imminent for everybody to get to you. I would say, if they are not coming, probably they are not of good fortune. That's what I can dare to say, because such a wonderful platform is available, and with the ease and convenience of the facilitator, of the learners, and ensure that those skills they want to upgrade and those programs which are available they do match. So this we call as a competency. So you find the competency, you cater to the competency, you enhance the competency. So many things are there with you, Vinayji, and I think that that's a real flavor of what iPrime Skill is doing, and that's a real good work that all of you are doing.
Thank you so much,
And
sir, for kind word.
yes,
And
and
sir, yes,
the way they were responding, no participation, overwhelming participation. Sometimes I meet on various platform, I discuss with universities in abroad, in India, and pedagogies. They say, oh, sometimes there is a very numb response, and we don't know whether the learners are hearing distance learning, or their connections are on and they are off. That happens in physical also. It's not necessary. We have to see whether the learners were in classes, and it might have happened many a times that physically they are in a class, however they are roaming around, somewhere at home or on roads or in a movie theater. We don't know, right? So that was the case that time also. So it's not new. So maybe 5 or 10% on that day. It's not like that class of students is same. 5 students today were facing the attention problem, and tomorrow also will be the same students. No, there would be different students. However, there would be certain number of students who would be facing attention problems. And this is education, that we say slow learners, gifted learners. So we have to give different programs for the slow learners, for the mediocres and the gifted learners. This is the educational system, and the facilitator has to understand. So it may happen in online also, right? With the disruption of COVID and all. So we have to understand, we should not blame the technology.
right,
Now, if there is certain acuity or imperfectness, maybe in the state, maybe with the people who are connected at both the ends, not
right,
in the technology. Right? And if you use it, for example, we were using the screens, white screens, right? We were using and annotating on the screens. The equations were written on the board while they were watching it. So it was not like just watch and play, have a pleasure of some presentation. It was the learning where the equations do come, where how the diagrams are built in. So all of them were learning, and I think that fantastic platform was provided, which I think is something which I would admire of. And
thank you, sir.
I just want to say thank you for giving a pleasurable experience to a teacher who really loves to connect to the learners, who are real and enthusiastic learners, reports timely, keep on asking questions, completing their homework given, right? Or some aspects like I used to say, let it be in a parking space, and you need to Google in and find it to me and come back to me. Whether it goes wrong, it may go wrong. It is a learning space. Things may go wrong, right? So all of them, I think, has come up fantastically, and it was a mesmerizing experience for me. I would say it was like being in a beatitude while we were
Thank you so
discussing,
much.
and that's what I just spoke my mind.
Okay.
So maybe and I know that it was a very ground reality thing.
Right.
Nothing no talks in clouds, no high promises or anything. It was whatever was discussed was to the learner's understanding.
Right,
So
sir.
from the heart to the heart of the person, right? So that is what I think. That was the beauty.
Right,
Right.
sir. And sir, current
So
scenario you will find
thank
other
you.
students, even they are MTech, they are BTech holder, they're finding a big challenges in getting the job. So what's the role of college management? How they can improve this kind of problems?
Vinayji, I just want to say, because it has come from my professor, and he used to scold me if I utter the word problem. He used to say, and I would reiterate him. It is I thank my guru for that. And he always used to say that there is no problem in this world; it is an opportunity.
Right, right. Agree.
So let's look at. So what I will say is, even it was certain kind of recession talked in late 90s or late the first decade of the 21st century, 2008 to 2012. I personally feel that if somebody is upskilled properly and has his fundamental and concepts clear and a flavor of technology, there is no dearth of opportunities.
I
The
agree with you.
opportunities are there today. When I talk to industry, yeah, that's correct. So when I talk to the industry people, and many of my batchmates or classmates are there at good positions, however, they keep on saying that we have vacancies. It's not like there are no vacancies. However, we are unable to get a certain candidate with certain skill set, and each company needs a different skill set because they have designed their own one. For example, as we say, fundamental mathematical models are same. However, if you look into the different software available, they have developed their own equations and created the same model. So if I use my literature book, which is going on for maybe last 50 years, and I calculate some number, coming, let's say, distillation number of towers, and if I use a certain equation from the process simulator, my numbers won't match. My heat exchanger design, volume size, and the temperature variations, or the overall heat transfer coefficient calculated, and that is calculated by HTRI, won't match. Why is it happening? The real reason is they have worked upon the formulae, basic formulae, and upgraded it. And so they know what realistically it comes. So students, as you see, even everywhere, this or any other workshops we see, they do forget that what they design is an ideal thing. They forget to work upon the efficiency, and they say, okay, this number of trays in a tower are 15. However, they are not considering efficiencies. So if I say it's 100% efficiency divided by 1, 15. And if I say 50% efficiency, number of trays are 30. And that's going to make a huge difference in capital intensity, or capital and OPEX will be completely different pole values. So why then we do not connect to industry and understand what they are feeling? That's what then some curse comes from industry people. I dislike it. However, they say what you learn in classes or academics is not what is practiced. So it's not like the knowledge is limited. It is the execution of the knowledge which is in difficulty. And learners have to understand, right? So we may have done with some literature or course that we call. However, what extent? How can apply it? What is the analogy in the world, real world? And when I want to connect the model to the real plant model, what are some changes I need to make in it or among them? So this is what a learner has to understand. Without that, the particular detailing of engineering that we call would not be complete. And so with that incompleteness, they reach to the industry. Anyway, it will not be 100% complete because every industry is there. Every industry, they have companies like a chemical industry or an oil and gas industry and manufacturing industry and battery industry. So let's say go to chemical, then we have fertilizers and so many other bulk chemical industry. Pharmaceuticals is a part of chemical. So when we go to all of them, their skill set needed is different. So some fine tuning that we call would be definitely required. That will never ever go. Otherwise, it may be 5-6 years or something degree program would be required. Whereas people are talking on instead of 4 degrees, make it in 3 years. Right? So this is what the people are thinking, and we cannot go in the opposite direction now. However, then how to mitigate this gap? I think the answer is I prime skill. So here the learner should come. The learner should get benefited by getting connected to an appropriate resource, learning along with, and find out their opportunities. And if they do that, there is no need, to make a certain promise or assurance of a job, because that's also something which should rely with them. If skill set is there, people will come searching.
Right, sir. Right.
Just take an example. All these coveted blue chip companies now previously used to come with only some few institutions. Why are they now going everywhere? When I haven't seen this pandemic now this year, you will wonder that even it is a regular or a rural engineering college whose name is even not known, they're still asking them, ask your students to appear for our aptitude. And when they're in aptitude, and if they get selected, they go to the next rounds.
Right.
Because they say our evaluation pattern is fixed. Now, whoever fits in that, we would select them. From where it comes, we don't matter.
Doesn't matter, right? Right. Agreed.
Yes, correct. So this is what is essential. So I personally feel that uh, uh, we should, our learners should not be job oriented. I know that this mindset, change of mindset, will take time, right? The change has to be there, change of mind. However, it should not be job centric. If
Right.
we start thinking that it's a skill enhancement, and when I'm getting an upgradation in my skills, I am making me eligible for a larger environment where many industry of come. For example, for chemical engineers, automobiles like the electrical batteries were never found as an avenue. Today, many of them are working in that avenue. Automobile was never thought of. Fuel cell vehicles would be there. The engines, IC engines will be replaced. Chemical engineers are only required there. Biomass valorization, biomethane, bioethanol. Government has said now 20% of ethanol blending by 2024, doubling the requirement. What in 72 years of independence? Great boost to chemical industry. From where it will come? The learners have to look beyond what they have been told to. I'm saying, because I believe on the learners. They have very fantastic capabilities. They are groomed in that fashion.
Right. Sir.
So it comes as a lucrative thing. I really hate people who keep on advertising saying job guarantees or this all things. No. And why don't you? Why are you giving them? They have a skill set. They may get better even from that. And why are you
Right, sir.
restricting? You are saying 1.8, 2.2 package minimum that we will offer. So are you devaluing the learners? So it should not be at all. Let them equip. Once
Right.
they are facilitated with, they will grow themselves. They will struggle a little bit. They will find ways to come up, and I'm sure they will flourish. There will be a flora and fauna of career. So, in my personal opinion, those who are worried about the job scenario, more than that, I would say they should be worried about the change in technology and the aspects to upgrade themselves. If they pay that attention instead of worrying for job, I think their energy will be properly directed and they would be able to grab the job or maybe start an enterprise based on their inclination.
Right,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, it's a wonderful message, sir, because nowadays students are focusing on job instead of developing their skill. It's a really wonderful message.
Right.
They should like to focus on development of themselves. By default, they can get the opportunity.
Correct. Very true.
Thank you so
Rightly
much, sir.
said.
Thank you for your message and your feedback.
Always.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So that was a pleasure. Thank you, and wish you all the best. My best always for the work that you are doing, and I'm very sure with the sincere work that you are putting in, efforts you are putting in, there is no limit. You start with. I just want to give examples. However, some years back we used to talk on with Mukesh Ambani ji, right, on Reliance, and people used to get cursed. How Ambani's have got up. They put their efforts. They make it visionary. And that's what they are. When nobody was thinking of, and Indian financiers were not giving them finances, they went to the NSE, New York Stock Exchange, and collected their finances for the refineries and then established the refinery world in India. 72,000 crore rupees is the annual profit, which keeps hoping, which is like 3 to 4 states budget equivalent
Right,
to
right.
Indian states.
Mhm.
However, how could they build up this one? Because of their efforts, visionariness. Now, new entrepreneurs come some time back. We were talking about Paytm. Now we talk on Byju's. One teacher, one person who was just teaching could get into the level, right? Because he could get good facilitators. He could get people who are working with him, and he had that passion to share. and that has brought him. So it's not like in a day's effort he could see these days. And every month you get a news of Byju's buying this and that platform. How it comes? It comes only by the efforts. It comes by connecting, and it comes by assuring real assurances. So there is, if you look at them, those who were giving false promises have vanished now. However, people like him who came up are there. People like you who talk on reality and upskilling, they are getting the fervor. So definitely it will grow. And my best to all your efforts. Your team is fantastic. Coordination that you are from front you are doing. I really appreciate your connoisseur in the field, and more than that, being with the sessions or being with the learners and the facilitators at the time, that is something great. Otherwise, it's not like just I have seen some people arrange some guest sessions and they just join it and then they get vanished. So that is what not happening with you. So you as a person, and definitely iPrime Skill as an institution, it is fantastic. However, institutions grow by people like you,
And
right?
yeah, so
Otherwise,
because of your
there are
support
hundreds and
only.
thousands. They are
Right,
not
sir.
all growing. Right. So people like you will help the institutions grow, and some better opportunities. And you don't know what kind of great opportunity will come. You grow the platform, and maybe Byju's will buy your platform sometime later.
Thank you so much.
But I hope it reaches to that connoisseur level, right? And you become a part of a larger agglomeration. So my best to you and the team, and I'm sure you will keep benefiting the learners with the same elan, and that's a good thing. It comes both. It's a business, agree, as well as similarly it is a charity. You are doing it to connect to those who are left behind and bringing in together in a line. The bus is not whisked by the people, right? So this care is being taken by fantastic people with warm-hearted people like you, and I think that's a great scenario. I really I'm happy rather to see such things happening, which maybe I should confess that maybe a year or couple of years back we never had thought of that kind of scenario, right? Which you all people have made it in practice and the reality. And with the augmented reality and virtual reality, I think that was something which I was lost the thread. Is you are there like this one, your replicas are there everywhere within augmented reality. You had been there in each scene and each scenario. That's a fantastic management skill that you own up, and I'm sure your team and your institution is going to get benefited from that. My best, and thank you for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your kind message.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Most welcome.